Good morning, everyone. My name is Hamdi Mohamed, and it is such an honor and privilege to be here in my capacity as the Port of Seattle Commission President. Being the final speaker, the one that wraps this whole thing up, you're either left with saying nothing or folks saying, okay, that wasn't so bad. As I was sitting there, I had a pen, I was crossing out all the things that my colleagues had already said, so I will be riffing during my speech today. In all seriousness, I joined the port in 2022, and one of the things that I was most excited about was the opportunity to be able to invest in economic opportunities for all of our communities and adding to the legacy of the Pacific Northwest, a place where big ideas are born that help change the world. It has been such an honor and privilege to be able to work with my colleagues, Commission Vice President Toshiba Hasagawa, Commissioner Ryan Calkins, Commissioner Bellevue, Commissioner Sam Cho, who's looking down on his phone. As I was sitting there and I was hearing each one of you guys' speech, I'm so inspired by your stories. I'm so inspired by the way that you all lead and the amount of knowledge that you all carry. It is one of the most best things about serving on the commission. I also want to just say to Executive Steve Metrick, thank you for your leadership also on the port. It's been a privilege working alongside you all. We collaborated together to make sure the state of our port is strong in 2023. And we successfully passed the 2024 budget, which included a $5.6 billion capital improvement plan that underscored our commitment to delivering for our businesses, for our communities, and addressing future challenges. The Port of Seattle, our port, is not merely a hub for commerce and travel. It is the heartbeat of our community. It connects us to the world. From the towering cranes to our dedicated workforce, our port, our airport serves as both sanctuaries for opportunities and driving forces behind the economic pulse of our community. The state of the port is strong, as you all have heard. So I won't bore you guys with more information on how strong it is. We are not only prepared to take on new challenges, but we're positioned to lead with excellence. We're not just primed for the fray, we're set to lead the way. We're not just pouring resources into our infrastructure, we're also fostering opportunities for entrepreneurs, for innovators, and everyday workforce, whether they are employed directly with the Port of Seattle or they're employed through the businesses that are connected to our operations. Within our airport alone, there are 150,000 jobs that are tied to aviation, alongside 46,000 plus jobs connected to our maritime businesses that are linked to the port's economic activities. As the Port of Seattle Commission President, many ask me, what are your priorities as Commission President? What does that look like? Well, my goals align with advancing our region. When I put on my Northwest Seaport Alliance co-chair hat, it's about supporting the efforts to expand cargo activities and create new business opportunities at our terminals, including 46. And let me be very clear about that. The Alliance's cargo operations support over 50,000 jobs, and our commitment is to both strengthening and safeguarding these industries. On the aviation side, I look forward to continuing to support and invest in making sure that SEA travelers can move through our airport smoothly. So I can get less tweets and less text messages as well. That also includes safety, addressing the concerns for our airlines. Thank you guys who are in the room today. And also our ground transportation professionals. One of the things when I joined the Port of Seattle that I was told was that one of the hardest challenges that you'll deal with is ground transportation. And in 2023, we helped pass a contract for our taxi drivers, a historical 5-year contract for those frontline workers that were impacted by the pandemic significantly. And so we'll continue to make investments in ground transportation infrastructure, as well as those who work in those spaces. Also, the airport 2023 was an exciting year for the airport. I'm surprised my colleagues didn't mention this, but where are the Swifties and the Beehives, Taylor Swifts and the Beyoncés that help us hit record numbers of travel this year? See, I'm riffing, they took everything else out, so. On the airport side, I'm also really excited about us fostering new air routes, partners to improve trade relations, like establishing a direct connection possibly to India. I don't know if some of you guys were at the opening of the Indian consulate office in Seattle, but we heard that a lot. It was that big sign that said most likely, so I also support that too. I hope to see us be able to make that connection. Additionally, I'm looking forward to introducing a new effort to support a sound installation, repair, and replacement program for residents in South King County, those who are closest to SeaTac Airport, who are impacted by noise impacts from the planes that fly in that area. It will be a challenge, and it's a challenge that I'm excited to lean into. I'm looking forward to supporting new initiatives for emerging maritime companies, small businesses, tourism when it comes to our economic development site. We have a lot of tourism programs here in the East Side as well. It's always an honor to be able to collaborate with our chambers in Bellevue and other parts of the East Side. On the environmental front, it's pretty simple. I look forward to continuing to be a champion for efforts that accelerate our transition away from fossil fuels, but do this in a way that is just, in a way that puts workers first. Also in 2024, I'm looking forward to playing a key role in improving our tribal government-to-government relationships, echoing some of what Commissioner Bellman has said. We will continue to commit with engaging early and often with our tribal communities and formalizing official partnerships, also ensuring that our programs and our resources reach our tribal communities as a whole, such as connecting our Indigenous youth communities to the abundance of resources that are available through the Port of Seattle. That includes our workforce development programs that I have been lucky to be able to champion in the last 2 years since I've joined the Port. We've doubled our workforce development efforts in this last 2 years. In closing, we all have our goals, but I know we will continue to face new challenges and new circumstances. I want to extend my special thank you to the dedicated Port of Seattle staff who work tirelessly to advance our commission goals and who support our region when it comes to tackling new challenges. Please give them a round of applause. Commissioner Ryan Culkin's already mentioned a number of folks that I wanted to thank, but there's a lot of people who put this event together, and I'll just take a moment to thank a special person, Mary Jean. And she's made a lot of this happen, and I want to say thank you. I also would like to ask our commission staff to stand up, please, so we can recognize you all. They do with 5 commissioners. You want to have that? And they navigate that, and I want to say thank you so much for the work that you all do every single day. As the Port of Seattle enters 2024, we are proud to play a role in our region that has always been defined by innovation and change. Again, I'm honored to serve in this position as Port of Seattle Commission President, and as the first Black woman in this role, let me just say, happy Black History Month. serve alongside Commissioner Hasagawa and Commissioner Sam Cho, and being the first is not easy. And often people wonder maybe why do they share their stories so often. The reality is these positions that we're in are so unique. We're very much qualified. Like Commissioner Fellman, I'm a 2-time dog, go Huskies. But there's so many people who look up to us and think that being in these roles are impossible. And what we say to them, it's very much possible, but it's challenging, it's not easy. My story, I came to this country as a 3-year-old refugee from Somalia. The Port of Seattle was one of my first ports of entries. I had to navigate my way through college with parents who didn't speak English as a first language. But we made it, and we did it because there's so many people who made investments in me and seeing what I could possibly become. And I know how proud they are. And I know how challenging this work is as well. And so to those people who work with you, who may look like us during these times, I say support them. I say may the future of our port be an uplifting force for every community, for every business, for our workforces. Thank you all for this time, for sharing here. Hopefully you got to hear something new, but this concludes our event. Thank you for joining our event, and thank you for learning about the state of the port.